Speakeasy podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Gargano. Call me the Cuz. And of course, the world famous Geek. Everybody knows the Geek, no matter where you're at. Come on, Geek. You got cred, man.
You know me. At least somebody does. There's a person out there who likes me.
Dude, I love you.
Because.
Wait, can I tell you? I got to tell you, because I'm a big believer in like complete transparency, right? So when we do this stuff, so I watched your videos, right, for DFS Army. And I went, oh, this dude's the great. You had me cracking up. First of all, dude, you can rap, dude. Oh. I loved it. I was dying laughing. I'm like, who is this guy? This guy cracks me up. He's the best. I love it. So I was actually a fan of yours. I was your biggest fan.
No, I appreciate that, man. You're one of the 2 or 3 that have seen that, and you believe in me, so I appreciated that. That's
I do believe you. You are you're a natural, dude, a natural.
Hell
so tell me, and let's talk about this real quick, because when you listen to our podcast, we're going to go through each and every game. We're going to give you plays that we like. We'll dive into some props, totals. I mean, we're going to run the gamut. We'll run through the entire NFL slate. So we'll get into all that, and you guys will love it. But along the way, we're going to have a little meander and make some pit stops. And the one thing is that I love little details about people. So tell me about you growing up. Who was your squad growing up?
So I'm a diehard Jets fan, and that's really the unfortunate and tragic reality of my upbringing. And it's funny how I got into all of this. It's because the Jets always suck. So when I got into NFL, when I got into football, I was I'm going to say I was about 8 years old. Kenny O'Brien was the quarterback of the Jets. And it was that year where it still wasn't clear. For example, he had been a rookie the year before. It still wasn't clear that, for example, the Jets screwed up by taking O'Brien over Danny Marino that year, right? So my first year, the Jets were like a real team, and they were
Altoon. Was Altoon in primary?
Altoon, Freeman McNeil, the whole crew. And so that was my intro to NFL football. And Cuz, I'll bring it around to what got me to where I am today. The Jets, as a franchise, I love football. As a kid, every weekend, like Sunday after, I can't even tell you what it was like waiting for Sunday afternoon. I couldn't sleep on Saturday night. And this was going for years. I could never sleep on Saturday night because of that one Jets game that I was so excited to watch, right? And this went on for years and years. And of course, because they're the Jets, more often than not, after a couple of weeks, they're already done. No chance out of it. Vinny Testaverde, Achilles gone. Chad Pennington tears the shoulder. So many disappointments. And that's actually what led me to my love of fantasy football, because fantasy football, and now betting on the games as well, is the one medium that allows me to really look forward to and enjoy every single game as like I was like that kid who looked forward to the Jets games. So that's
you need something to augment it, right? Like I completely get it, and I'm completely with you. There is something about like that sweat, like you talk about it, whether it's betting on it or our DFS stuff or whatever it is. That sweat is awesome, and each game is like its own entity. I'm with you. It's funny. So I used to work for the New York Post in another life, and I'll remember I was there, Jets Broncos AFC Championship game, and in that day, Terrell Davis TD goes for like 218. Mile High Stadium, and I'm covered, and I just remember the Jet fans, like the suffering Jet fans. It's we relate. Like, listen, I'm an Eagle kid, right? So I grew up an Eagle fan, and so for years and years up until 2018, it's just no Super Bowl. You're in a division with the Redskins and the Cowboys and the Giants and all those Super Bowls in the past, and that's like you with the Jets. I mean. You had the Bills run, obviously the Patriots later on, and the Dolphins. So, we are kindred green spirits.
It really, the green, that is the green. And man, do I remember that Broncos game where I believe the Jets actually took a 10-0 lead at one point in that game. and there was some false hope, but I never had hope. I never had. I was like, this ain't last. No, this is not going to last. And of course, as the game starts to turn, I go, at least we made it here. I remember thinking, at least I got to taste what like the AFC championship game feels like. It feels good. I hope I ever get to taste it again in my life. But that I do remember that specific game and the agony. But I didn't even allow the agony to get me because I was so negative. I was like, they're not going anywhere. No, I allowed a little hope to seep in. A little hope got in there.
Sure.
It's like when you open your
right. You're like, oh my God, I'm not going to believe. Maybe I'll believe a little bit. You
open yourself up. No, I shouldn't have done it. The walls are much larger now than they were then. I built a wall. No more emotional turmoil.
Well, you got a quarterback. Are you a believer?
I am. I do. First of all, so here's Zach Wilson. A couple of really good signs about Zach Wilson. Number one, he's a good decision maker. And you know how I know, like the man makes great decisions. And I know this because I saw a picture on social media of him and his girlfriend. And trust me, my boy makes good decisions.
He not only throws dimes, he has them on his arm, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. And, I'm not going to talk about his smoking hot mom either, but there's a lot of good decisions going on around Zach Wilson. I'm excited. Listen, again, as Jets fan, I liked Fields. I wanted Fields on the team. I still think Fields is possibly the best of the young quarterback crew that came into the NFL this season. Super excited to see how his career goes in Chicago. But I can't deny that Zach Wilson has looked the part. He talks the part. He prepares. So, let's see what happens.
And listen, he's a young rook, too. I mean, he's a kid that's coming in. Now, I'll tell you, I know Joe Douglas well, and I think he's a really sharp guy, the Jets GM. He was in Philadelphia with the Eagles. And he's a guy that I would have a lot of faith in if I'm a Jet fan, actually building this thing correctly. So,
moves. He made a couple of great moves. I love the move to trade up for the offensive lineman in round one. That's a real, you could tell that this guy has a plan. I love Elijah Moore at the beginning of round two. I think he, again, not trying to bring some bias to it here. I think he's the best of the wide receiver class this year. Potentially, he could be this year's Justin Jefferson. Maybe I'll throw a bone to you guys in Eagles country with Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
He looks good too. A little skinny, a little small, but he looks really good. Great.
He glides. It's amazing. Like listen, so is Stephon Diggs, right? Stephon Diggs has that kind of build. He's a little taller, but he's got that same kind of, he's thin, but he glides, right? Devontae Smith just glides. I mean, you watch him in the championship game. I mean, he dominated those two playoff games. He dominated. First half, he was amazing. So I think he's legit. I think he's the real deal. For us in Philly, it's about Hurts. Now you love Hurts because of your fantasy, and you were on him. I remember you being on him last year.
I loved it. Listen, Jalen Hurts, and for fantasy football purposes especially. Listen, I don't know about winning games. All right, I'm a fantasy football guy at this point. I don't know about winning games. I don't even care about who wins the game. But what I do care about is Jalen Hurts is one of 3 or 4 true running quarterbacks in the National Football League right now. Taysom Hill's not playing. So you got Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray,
Josh Allen
a little bit, but he's a thrower. He throws a lot.
Well, I mean, he could do both. I mean, that's what makes him so dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. But Jalen Hurts is a real
Russ.
So the question is, can he also throw the football with accuracy? I don't know the answer. I saw him perform really well in a couple games last season. I saw him perform not so well in a couple games last season. Now they've had a chance to tailor that offense for him. New coaching staff, better coaching staff. You know what's funny about? I got to tell you about Eagles country. I love the cycle of what's happened here with the Frank Reich proteges coming back to Philly, and running the team because these guys are creative. And so it's a creative coaching staff over there that I think can get the best out of this guy. We're going to have to see, though.
Yeah, listen, we're still learning about them. Jalen Hurts did not play in the preseason. He's a guy that come in 4 games. God bless the kid. I love him. Like if you get to know him, you fall in love with him immediately. The only issue is, I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like once there's tape on him, right? Does he have the arm talent that when they're throwing missiles at you, come on, Geek, they're coming in your face. Can you deliver that throw? And that's, what we'll find out. And when there's tape on you and all of a sudden he was quick to move and quick to run, well, in this league, you got to be able to throw it to win.
What does Eagles country think about Gardner Minshew?
Well, he's that guy who, wherever he goes, he just has that aura about him. So there was a lot of people excited that he's here. I think everybody who followed the Eagles want to see give Hurts a real chance. There was a lot of Deshaun Watson rumors out there. I know the Eagles had interest. Of course, you don't know what's going to happen, and we'll see if Miami makes the play for him. But I'll tell you, there was not a lot of love for that idea, bringing Deshaun Watson down here. So, I think people wanted to listen. We've been scarred, dude. Wentz, Simmons, Ben Simmons, we're still wounded over that, right? The Carson Wentz. Dude, could you imagine this? Seriously. So this is a town that 52 years no Super Bowl. They finally win. They win with a backup. It's miraculous. The whole thing, Saint Nick over Christmas time. I mean, it's a movie, right? And it's the parade, and everybody's just drunk with joy and glee, and we're out there on Broad Street, and who's got flasks, and it's cold, everybody's loving it, and there's 1.2 million on the streets of Philadelphia, and Doug Peterson is talking to the crowd, and he goes, "This is the new norm."
Yeah.
And it's the new norm. And what happened? There was no new. Wentz is out of here. Are you kidding me? He went from being carried off on a shield in Los Angeles against the Rams to just being jettisoned. I mean, it's unthinkable, Geek. Unthinkable.
I think one of the funny things was, I've said this for a few years, I have not been a fan of Carson Wentz for a while, and you've heard this from me. You've heard it on my shows. You've heard it I just don't – he doesn't have it, right? But I felt that same feeling that the Eagles fans felt, where he got them almost to a Super Bowl. They came out, and it's you want to believe. You want to –
Dude, I mean, listen, I saw every game, obviously, right? He was one of the reasons why they had the 1 seed because of him. He made plays, dude, that I still marvel at. He made throws in tight windows that you went, oh, my God, he's special.
How could somebody go from being so good or looking so good to a complete disaster?
Yeah, disaster. He was worse than Ben DiNucci last year against the Cowboys.
I mean, he was terrible. Yeah, he was honestly, the best matchup. Look, for DFS purposes, we played him. The best matchups in the world against horrible defenses. Seattle last season was early, terrible defense. I think I sort of remember a game like that where where everybody was putting up 30-35 against Seattle early in the season, and they couldn't score at all. So he was a head case. Something happened to him mentally where he just, it's the Chuck Knobloch thing. Can't throw back to first base. Mackie Sasser in it at the plate, doing this all the time, tapping the glove. Bro, just throw the fucking football. Don't tap the glove. That's what was going on with Wentz, I think. We'll see what happens in the new team. So I'm curious to see if a new regime, getting back to Frank Reich, who is, I think, one of the best coaches, quarterback gurus, but just offensive minds in the NFL today. Very innovative person.
Oh yeah, totally. He's great. He's a great mind.
Yeah, great mind. The best out of his guys. So we'll see if that changes.
And he's got a great look at the cast around him. Michael Pittman, I love him as a stud. Jonathan Taylor. You got a good running back. You got good receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Hines too. A deep. Lots. He's got webs. He's got a good O-line.
Harris Campbell.
Yeah.
Maybe third-year breakout coming. So he's got the weapons, a great defense. The nice thing about the situation for Carson in Indianapolis is he doesn't need to do much. That team's got an elite defense as well. They're going to control games with the run and with their defense. And Carson's just going to be in there, do your thing. You don't have to overdo it. Manage the game.
That's his. You nailed it, Geek. Nailed it. His problem? Hero ball.
Yeah, none of that. Don't do that.
That's what he does. I don't think he can help himself. I honestly, I don't think he can help himself. He's a hero ball player. That's what he wants to do. That's why he holds the ball on too long. Because forced throws,
He needs to get to a zen. Breathe in, out, relax.
No interception.
No
interception.
Moves. Relax, buddy. Don't lose this for us, bro. Chill. Don't lose it for me. That's what Frank. But Frank's that guy. Frank's his Mr. Miyagi. He's gonna be like doing some of this, crack the shoulder. He's gonna be good to go. I think he might be all right there, but I do not expect heroics out of Carson Wentz anymore. Hard to imagine it.
All right, give me a surprise team in the NFC.
I'm sticking with the NFC East. I don't know how surprising this is. I love Washington this year. I think they are the team that
check out the big brain.
No,
I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
By the big there we go. I love it. We're on the same page. So obviously NFC East staying with it. Number one, there's opportunity. Listen, Eagles don't look like a playoff team necessarily. This could be, but don't necessarily look this way. Giants, one of the worst teams in the league. Period. Bottom dweller. So you've got Dallas. Dallas always seems to find a way to blow it, right? So who's left?
And then you got to worry about Prescott and whether or not he's healthy. So there's a lot of Dak doom going on.
I hope he'll be okay. I love that offense when it's clicking. It's one of the most exciting offenses in the NFL to watch. I have some prop bets for tomorrow night's
game,
by the way, that I'm going to give out a little bit. Some exciting props. So we can talk about that.
I got a lock too for you.
I love a lock. I love a lock.
Yeah, I love this play. I love it.
Oh, I'm excited.
I love it.
Keep the people.
I'm going to give you an NFC team to watch, and I'm telling you, you got to bet them to make the play. It's a futures bet. Bet them to make the playoffs.
I like it.
And you're not going to like the pick. Because you're not going to like the quarterback.
Well, all right. Well, what do you got for me?
Carolina makes the playoffs.
Darnold?
Yep.
Are you trying to torture my soul with that pick?
Brother, I full disclosure, Matt Rule is a close friend. We talk often. There's a guy that he is a terrific coach, all right? That defense is legitimate. He's got weapons around them. I'm telling you, and you can get them at a nice number to make the playoffs.
I got to pull that number up. I'm sure it's a monster number. Carolina is definitely being projected, not as great. I think here's what it comes down to, Anthony. For that bet, they have great weapons. First of all, Terrace Marshall, I love the rookie wide receiver on that team. They have Christian McCaffrey on the team.
Right.
Darnold reunited with Robbie Anderson. DJ Moore is a great player. So they have a great set of weapons. Great running back, great trio of wide receivers. Not two, but three.
And they're good up front. Both sides of the ball, bro.
But they've got Sam Darnold. So we're going to find out if Sam Darnold is Adam Gase. A lot of players, after they leave the hell that is Adam Gase coaching, they flourish, right? We didn't know that Tannehill was good until Adam Gase got away from him, and all of a sudden he's great. We didn't know, even Kenyon Drake leaves Miami, leaves Gase, looks good for a couple of years. So Adam Gase is kryptonite for offenses. He's one of probably, as a matter of fact, let me tell you how bad this guy is. He's so fucking bad that he is now the offensive coordinator for a high school football team that used to be an elite high school, and now they can't win. They're losing.
I hear you. And I'm telling you, look who the offense coordinator is in Carolina. They retained Joe Brady. Joe Brady was the passing game coordinator at LSU. With Burrow, this dude is sharp. He's young. He's bright. He's got great concepts. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the division. You could sprinkle some pizza money on them winning the division at 9-1. That's right, over Brady and the Buccaneers.
That would surprise me very greatly, but at 9-1 odds, I'll allow it. But that will surprise me very greatly.
Well, back them up, right? So you could back it up with the Carolina coming in second because they're better than Atlanta, and I don't believe in the Saints, so I don't believe in the quarterback.
No, the Saints, I'm not down with the Saints at all this year. No wide receivers on the team, nothing. This is not the year for them. You're right, but Tampa is a powerhouse. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, no. Listen, it's great. They're an amazing. They probably got better, which is scary.
One thing I think that Carolina and Denver, two teams, are going to live to regret. I think they should be. If I'm a fan of theirs, I would be regret. I mean, I was screaming as a non-fan. How do you let Fields slip by you? Because you got Darnold, you let Fields go. Because you got Bridgewater.
I'll tell you, I think, and again, I think Carolina was thinking about Deshaun Watson at that point. Mistake. I thought that they thought that they were going to go get Deshaun Watson. I don't know that they were in love with Fields. Listen, Fields is raw, dude. I mean, I hear you, and he's a great athlete. And listen, this kid, when he's hot, I agree with you. I think ultimately he's going to be a player, but I think Carolina thinks that it can win, and I hear you on Denver. Denver is even more egregious, Denver, because they got no quarterback.
I mean, I don't mind Bridgewater as a placeholder, but they're going to live to regret it. Listen, I think Fields is Deshaun Watson without the groping.
Deshaun Watson's a great player, dude. Like, grope aside, grope aside, I think he's just a tremendous player. So I think you slow your roll. I think you're just gaga over Justin.
The upside, though. That is the upside.
He does. Listen, I like him, so I don't argue with it. I think you should be happy with your boy.
I am. I'm happy with. I like what I see, but I'm a Jets fan. I have a negative overall attitude. I'm looking at the downside of everything. I'm like, oh man, this isn't going to work out. I let myself get excited for Darnold too, and I was like, oh, we got it. And then they hired Adam Gase. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, he was horrible. He was horrible.
That wasn't one of those ones where we found out after he was horrible. That was one of the second the hire happened. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
we're done for a couple of years now with this guy.
Yeah, you could have had Matt, by the way.
Oh, trust me.
You know that you could have had Rule, but they didn't want to give him. They wanted to pick his coaches.
Stupid.
Which was a complete mistake.
Woody Johnston was overseas. They let Chris, the little brother, take over. That never works out well. Never works out well.
All right, what do you say? Let's go over the card, shall we?
It was Fredo making the decision. Who put Fredo in charge of the team? What the hell's going on here? Fredo.
You broke my heart. You broke my heart.
I gave him the kiss. Fredo. You hired Adam Gase. I mean, Woody Johnson came back from wherever the fuck he was in Europe. He comes back. He's like, Fredo. I put you one thing to do. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
All right, let's go over the card, and we'll start. First of all, it's tomorrow night. We're doing this. It's Wednesday night, 10:30 on the East Coast. And I don't know about you, but the butterflies are starting to churn because less than 24 hours from now, it all starts, dude.
What a game to start it off. Cowboys, Bucks, 51-point total. Bucks, Super Bowl champion. Bucks coming in as 8.5-point favorites. Got to be excited for this one. Because I think the consensus, what people are saying is they watched Tampa in the Super Bowl control Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
So this spread is, hey, they did it to Pat Mahomes. Of course they're going to do that to Dak Prescott. Like, right? They're going to hold him down.
Well, remember that they only held Mahomes in check because Kansas City lost both their tackles, right? Listen, that Tampa defense is fantastic, so I'm not taking anything away from them. But, I hear you, and look, at 8.5, it feels like they're baiting you to take the Cowboys, right? Like, they know that Dallas is a public team, that people love to bet on the Cowboys. They know that they're a popular team, and they're a popular team to bet on. So the fact that it's 8.5, to me, screams Tampa. And by the way, Brady looks fabulous, right? Like, this is a Brady moment. And I'll give you my play right now, right off the top. My favorite play is a prop. It's Brady over 2.5 touchdown passes plus 160. Thank you. Please, can I have some more?
Free money. All right, I've got some props for this game as well that I'm smashing for this one. let's go right back to Brady. Under 0.5 interceptions. Brady don't throw interceptions. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You get that
and the Dallas secondary doesn't generate a lot of turnovers.
No. Dallas not known for their defense. Listen, it's week 1. So the risk for me here is it's week 1 and people are a little rusty and kind of like be careful in your betting week 1 in general, because you don't know. These teams don't come out and look sharp week 1. So
plus you don't know. You do so much that like you need to see. That's a great advice that you give. Like, we get crazy, right? And
we're excited.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, I want to bet this, I want to bet that. But you're right. Like, at least take a step back. Don't blow your bankroll early. Understand, because you could see certain trends and you could see them early. You got to give it at least a couple weeks. And to your point, the fact that there's 17 games and the fact that a lot of teams did not play their starters in the preseason, September could be some ugly football.
That the first week, you never know. Like, I've seen it go either way. You see the teams come out and they're sharp, and you're like, "Wow, look at that! Like, he's on his game." And then you see other ones just looking a mess. So, I think you gotta be a little careful with this. I got another bet for you for tomorrow night game. Ready? So this one's a matchup play. CeeDee Lamb over 4.5 receptions. That's a -145 prop. You can get it on which book? I think it's on DraftKings right now. And here's the
deal. Like it.
With the Bucs have really great outside cornerback play, but their weakness is slot receivers. Sean Murphy Bunting passes in his direction. Opposing quarterbacks had a 126 passer rating when they threw to the slot against Tampa last season. So you want to expect that Gallup and Cooper on the outside might get shut down a little bit. That Tampa too, but CeeDee Lamb probably the guy who to attack. And 4.5 receptions just seems really kind of a low number in a game like this, where I think Dallas won't be able to run it because the defense is good against the run, so they're going to have to throw a lot.
I agree. That's a great play. I love that play. Hey, I'm curious. What do you think of Zeke? Does Zeke have a bounce back, or do you think Zeke is off a cliff?
Man, I'm buying into the Zeke. Back in shape, got the fire under his ass. I've been the number one Zeke detractor for the last few years because he visibly looked.
That's why I asked you too.
He visibly looked out of shape to me. Like he visibly, this guy doesn't look like he's in great shape. What the fuck is up with him? So all reports have been that he is now taking it serious. I think what happened, Anthony, you know what I believe what happened? I believe that sometimes when you get paid, you get comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. This is what happens. You get the money. And then Le'Veon Bell, perfect example. You get the money, and now I'm good. I finally got paid. I achieved what I needed to. Not everybody is driven by being the greatest. Some people are driven by, I want to be a certain level of rich. And then they hit it. And then they're like, I don't give a shit anymore. Remember, I think it was Albert Hainsworth. There was a player.
Oh, God, Tennessee Titans, yep.
Or I think it was a Redskin. I can't remember. But
actually, he went from Tennessee to Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I called them the Redskins. Canceled them. Yeah. It's Washington. But he went there, and then he just didn't give a shit anymore. He got paid, and he didn't care. And he was
he got fat. Yeah.
He's like, I don't give a shit. $70 million. I thought that happened to Zeke. So I hope that he's taking it serious. But all reports is that he is now back into a mode. He's got his head right. So I believe in the kid, and I think he'll bounce back this year and be awesome.
So let me throw this prop. One of the props I always like, and again, sometimes I look for big odds that you can maybe have some fun with, where you sprinkle a few bucks, but like how many touchdowns you can receiving touchdowns in a game. So I like to identify a couple players. And so when I look at Tampa tomorrow night, I'm thinking, all right, well, you always got Gronk. So Gronk to score 2 touchdowns is big odd, like monster odds. And it's, listen, it's probably unlikely, but I could see Dallas being vulnerable to the tight end. And, when you look at Tampa's receivers, big receivers going to give that Dallas secondary some issues. So who do we have?
I mean, Mike Evans is a big receiver.
Thank you.
It's a big guy.
And he's, you can go get 13-1 that he scores a couple touchdowns. I think Brady throws 4.
I could see it. I just broke down just looking at the actual, showdown slate. There's a big contest tomorrow night. Both FanDuel and DraftKings have $1 million daily fantasy contests last night. So we're looking at that and saying, all right, listen, I won the Super Bowl contest by throwing Gronk into my captain spot. The captain gets 1.5 times the points. So he was super cheap, and that was the Super Bowl winner. I shared $1 million with about 1,200 of my closest friends. It actually didn't turn out to be that much money at all, but it felt good to win it. But because
you're a millie maker, man.
I did win a millie maker.
Listen, man. How many people can say that? Seriously,
me and 1,000 other could say it, but hey, it happened. So, Evans has been an incredible red zone wide receiver. That's what he does. He catches touchdowns. I actually remember a game a few years back with Mike Evans when he was still with he was always with the Bucs, but I think it was Jameis Winston. I'm trying to remember who the quarterback was.
Could have Jameis, yeah.
He came out injured. It was a game in San Francisco. Evans was hobbled, injured. He went in the game, caught 3 passes, 2 of them were touchdowns. That's all he did. He came in, end zone, 2 touchdowns in the game. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Three receptions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy. I always like to mess around with that. There was a game that I was so proud. Every once in a while, you get one right, like you really get one right. And if you remember last year, the Eagles were playing the Steelers. So before the game, I go, they got nobody that can cover Chase Claypool. And I don't know if you remember that, but yeah. Chase Claypool scored 3 touchdowns against the Eagles. And he actually ran another one in.
That was last year.
Yes. And I said it before the game on the air. You watch Chase Claypool. He's going to have a monster. The Eagles have nobody to stop him. And, and it's funny. I was kicking myself and then I played him in all the DFS and everything, but I should have played him. He would have been like 35,000 or whatever it would be, like, 350 to 1 to score 3 touchdowns. But you never know. Like, there are those bust out games. Who had it? You remember the one game last year? It was right around Christmas, I think. Guy scores 4 touchdowns. Who's the back? Wasn't Cam Akers? Do you remember that one? Do you remember that game?
Kamara had a 6-touchdown game last season.
That's it. That was it. Kamara's 6 touchdown. That was it. And
I think
it was right around the holidays. I remember.
Ungodly, and it was around Christmas. Yeah. Alvin Kamara. If you had him in your actually, Mike Evans had an incredible last week also, but Alvin Kamara had a historic game.
Yeah, that was it. The 6 touchdowns.
It was either the fantasy championship, so that would have been week 16 or week 15. But basically, last season, if you didn't have Alvin Kamara on your team, you didn't win your championship, most likely, because that 6 touchdown explosion was something, or 5. I can't remember 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was crazy
that you could not overcome it.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Maybe it was 5. 6 sounds. It doesn't even sound real what I'm saying. I have to look it up because 6 doesn't even sound real.
It's the best. Well, just thinking about it, that's why we love football, man. All right, let's go through the card. Are you ready? So for the weekend, let's start off Niners and Lions. Look, I mean, I don't know. There's only one side you can look. I hate laying over a touchdown on the road, but Detroit's it's a rebuild in Detroit. Everybody knows it. So I mean, there's only one way to look there, and it's the Niners. I think their defense is healthy. I'm not in love with laying. Like, to me, it's a steadfast rule not to lay more than a touchdown on the road. But I mean, that's the only side I can look at.
Yeah, that's a no bet for me. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's days are numbered. It's one of those, you ever get that weird situation where you got the incumbent guy and the better player sitting behind him. I think it's going to be a weird situation in San Francisco, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to feel that pressure. So I don't like that. I don't like that scenario very much. I don't want to trust the 49ers, but I do like the 49ers offense overall. They have great weapons on.
Oh my God, do they have great weapons?
Yeah, it just comes down to Jimmy G. But yeah, Detroit is a bottom feeder. They're one of the bottom 2 or 3 teams in the league right now. So
I mean, it's them. You're right. It's the Lions and Texans. Like, just so you know, I know Jacksonville. We'll talk about it later, but you can't go near the Texans. So just, to me, they're an automatic fade. All year long, I would bet against them.
Not just bet against them. They are the most tanking team we have seen in the NFL in years. We haven't really seen this before.
I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think? So Eagles, Falcons. Falcons are laying 3. I like the total. It's now up to 49. At one point, it was 47.
I'm seeing it currently at 48, and I love the over on it.
Yeah.
So that is a game. Falcons -3.5 right now on some books, -3 on some other books. 48 point total, 48.5 in some, but it's hanging.
Yeah, I actually see 49 on DraftKings. So
they're moving that.
Yeah. So you jump on that. I love the over because I do think the Eagles' offense. Nobody knows what to expect. So I think Atlanta might struggle there. I think the Eagles can move the ball, and the Eagles' defense is pretty thin. And listen, Ryan is a pro, and you got Kyle Pitts. I think both teams score there.
The Falcons have brought in a new defensive coordinator. I don't recall the name, but what I do know is he has a complicated system where I do think they'll actually be a pretty good defense eventually. But when you start a new defensive system, you rarely come out firing strong. So I like this game to play to the over. I don't know who Jalen Hurts is going to throw touchdowns to, though. You got to tell me, who the hell is he throwing to? Is it Rager? Is it
actually, so
Quez
watch him, okay? No joke. Quez Watkins has great speed. This kid is going to be I loved him last year. I thought he needed to get more time. He's a kid that can run, dude. I like him. You watch him, because I can see them where it's Quez and Devontae Smith, and then it's Rager in the slot. I'm not in love with Rager. I mean, they can give him the ball in space; it'd be all right. Remember, they got Goddard and Ertz, so you got strong at tight end. Goddard's a player.
Big. I think the 11. I think the 2 tight end formations they're going to run over there. I think they're going to do a lot of that, and so you'll see a lot of. I don't know. I guess that'll sit Rager, and maybe it'll be Quez and Smith on the outside. I'm not really sure how the offense is going to look, but I do think that both teams are bad defensively and good potentially offensively. So we could see a fiesta of scoring in that one, which I like. Play to the over, 48.5. Smash that over, I think.
That's a good use of the word fiesta.
Yes.
Come on, who don't like a fiesta?
Everybody loves it. First of all, everybody loves a siesta and a fiesta. These are 2 beautiful things.
And think about when you think fiesta, I think tequila, right? Yeah. And nachos.
Yeah.
I mean, does it
salsa, guacamole?
Right. I mean, come on. Does it get any better? Who doesn't love Mexican? You know what I mean?
Bro, you're talking. You're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
I could eat Mexican every day. It's guacamole and chips, baby.
And I like a. I'll tell you. Are you a beer man?
Yes.
All right. So, a Modelo is a nice item.
Okay.
Are you like a Modelo?
I like Modelo. I'm a Blue Moon man.
Yeah. Oh, I know you're a Blue Moon guy. Brand. That's right. Yeah.
But I like a Modelo. I'll drink a Corona. I won't drink Corona now.
The Negro Modelo is a great one. It's the dark.
I've seen that. The dark.
That's a nice item.
There we go. Little Modelo.
Yeah. I'm a spirits man, so you want to know spirits. I'm in. I got a buddy of mine who has his own tequila brand. It's called Siempre Azul.
Your pronunciation was spectacular.
Thank you. And I learned all about the agave plant and the Highlands. I could give you a whole dissertation. There's
Is he making money with the brand? That's what I want to know.
Meds are meds, as they say. So he would pour you the glass, right? This is how you tell if the tequila is good. And it's the Blanco, which is the white, right? So he pours it in the glass, and think about it like a champagne flute. And he swirls it around, and he has it tilted. And then he turns it up, and then you look for the streaks that you'll see on the sides of the glass. And if they're pronounced, it's a good tequila. Mm-hmm. And they call that Legs of the Virgin.
Legs of the Virgin.
Come on, dude. Where do you get that knowledge?
I love it. I love that it's that. I've never heard this before.
Sure, man.
Now I want to try some tequila, get some virgin legs going.
Sure. Yeah, sure you do. What? All right. How about a little Steelers and Bills? You believer in Ben this year?
I like Ben as long as he's healthy. From a fantasy perspective, I don't know that he's got like a full season of stamina.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm worried about him.
Yeah.
But I always like Ben when he's out there. I like that. Ben, I've always said this. I believe that Ben Roethlisberger was the best quarterback from that class with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. If I could do it again, Ben was the best of the trio to me. I'm a fan of Ben Roethlisberger.
You like the Steelers this year? I mean, listen. I mean, I'm a Buffalo. I think Buffalo's legit. I mean, listen, we saw them. They're not anybody. They're not a surprise anymore. They're well coached. Sean McDermott, who is one of the great young coaches. Allen, we saw what he does. That offense is terrific.
Josh Allen might be the best quarterback.
Dable's coming back. Yeah, he is. I agree with you.
Yeah, he might be.
Well, I'm a Mahomes guy, and I think
I love Mahomes too. But I mean, like, there's an argument right now. I'm still listen. That's the book is not closed. Like, he can be better than Mahomes. I'm just saying he has that chance. I love this game. 48.5 point total for fantasy purposes. It's great. We're gonna get to see Najee Harris premiere.
Yeah.
What we know with the Bills is they throw the football a ton. They don't really run it. They're not interested in running it. Doesn't matter. Steelers defense very good against the run, so too bad. It doesn't hurt me because I don't want to run it anyway. Like, I always love it when a team, hey, your strength is stopping the run. We don't give a shit. We don't run the football, so your strength useless against us. Your superpower here has no effect on us. The Bills don't care about run defense. They only throw the football.
You're right. Yeah, you're right on.
They don't run the football. And with the Steelers, I'm interested to see how that offense changes with Najee Harris, the new Le'Veon Bell, as I like to call him.
Yeah, I love him, man. You're right on. You're right on, man. That dude, he's just going to be a star. I feel it too.
I like his story too. I want to root for the kid. He's got such a great story. I think he was homeless at one point. Just a good person. I love Najee Harris. I really, really, you'd like root for a kid. I want him to be successful, and I think he will. He's in a good spot here. As far as this game goes, I think it's too sketchy to bet the over 48.5. I'm leaning over, but I'm going to lean that way. And Bills -6.5. It's just at the right spot. It's.
Yeah, I agree.
4.5, I'd be betting the Steelers. It's 6.5. I don't know if I want to go there. It's a no bet.
Well, I'm curious to see what you think of this next game because, unfortunately, I love the one side. I told you they're my surprise team, so I'm all over Carolina against your boys. I'm sorry, brother. I just think Panthers.
Panthers 4.5 point favorites, 44 point total. The Panthers got the weapons. The Jets don't have really much going on.
Young quarterback. Dude, you know what I like here? I like a little alternate line piece. Oh, I know you don't. I know. Listen, I don't want to rub your nose in it because I love you.
Wow, you're going that deep?
I'm going to lay 10 plus 190.
You love those deep. You like that. You don't want to bet a 50-50 bet. Now I'm learning about you. I'm learning that if it doesn't have a lot of juice, it's not exciting.
I'm a hunter.
Yeah,
I'm a hunter, man. I'm looking to bag the big game.
I'm believing in my boy Zach Wilson here that he is NFL ready. I think he's better than Darnold. So you give me those two kids side by side. I think Zach Wilson is better than Sam Darnold. I have to believe it. I'm allowing a little bit of optimism to seep in. Allow a little bit. Keep the walls up, but just a little. Opening the wall a little bit. But I'm going to keep it up. But I do like Wilson here. So I will not be taking Carolina -10. I think the Jets will hang in there. They don't have a run.
All right, so I will. You and I. You ready? We'll have we'll do our. Do you want to do a Butler bet?
Oh boy, here we go. What is this now?
So the Butler bet's one of my favorites. I always try out the Butler bet. The Butler bet is at the end of the season. So we'll anytime we disagree strongly, we'll bet Butler bets. And at the end of the year, whoever has more wins, the other guy has to be the other guy's Butler for how many days per win. All right.
We'll be virtual Butler betting. I'll be like,
I'm going to come up. I'm going to come up to the Geek State, man.
Oh, come up to New York.
I'm going to take my kids, and I'm going to be like, listen, Uncle Geek's going to take care of you.
There it is. It's like, hey, let me swim in your pool. Bring me a tequila. Show me the virgin legs. Show me the virgin legs. Shake it up. Show me the legs. If there's no virgin legs, bring me a different one. Not that one. I'm in. All right, Butler bet. Here we go.
All right. So we'll go with the spread 4.5. So you got the Jets. I'll take
First Butler Bet of the season. There we go.
I love it, brother. All right, moseying along. Unless you got something else in that game?
No,
you got a proper?
Okay. Let's keep it going.
All right, Arizona, Tennessee. Great game, actually. Interconference game. Tennessee's laying a field goal. Dude, I got to tell you, I'm not in love with Arizona. I expected a little bit more out of Kyler Murray last year. And listen, he is small. He can move. He can scat. But he's got to be able to be a more consistent thrower. Tennessee and Henry. How much did you love as a fantasy geek just Derrick Henry every week?
So great. I have him in one of my dynasty leagues. I rode that horse to a championship last season.
That's
Everybody
awesome.
in that league hates me. I love it. I absorb their hatred.
That's beautiful.
I suck it up and I spit it, like I gain power from the hatred.
Yeah, you bathe in it.
Sort of a fantasy football deity that only that gets better with the hatred of my league mates.
You just swell.
I'm like growing and shower me.
Oh no, the geek, he's growing.
I have Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry in one league together. Like, it's not fair.
How did you do that?
I traded for Henry. I traded for Henry before he got bit. That's how I did it.
You're one of those guys, man. You're pickpocket.
I traded. Somebody offered. I said, all right, I'll take Henry off your hands. So with this game, right? So here's what's interesting about Arizona. You're right about Kyler Murray. Last season, he hurt the shoulder, and all of a sudden, he couldn't really run as much. And we saw that, and it was left. It wasn't the throwing shoulder. It was the other shoulder. But all of a sudden, we started to see that Kyler Murray, maybe his passing wasn't as great as we kind of thought. It was more of like a secondary feature of the fact that he could run, that he was able to then complete all these passes. But I will say this. We saw this with Josh Allen too. So I want to give the kid a chance. Second year, he's got a little more experience. Josh Allen, his first year, under 50% completion rate, like he improved leaps and bounds after that first full offseason and all of that. So we're going to see with Kyler Murray now. Obviously, Kyler Murray's been around here, but let's see if there's improvement happening. Let's see if he gets a little bit better here and with the accuracy and the throwing. So Kyler Murray definitely, when he's not running, does not look very good at all. And we saw with the lack of wins for the Cardinals, that's the case. And that's what I think Tennessee should probably be favored by more than 3 here. I think the spread is too small on this game. Titans were, like a team that we thought might make the Super Bowl last year. They were they were a real threat to Kansas City, a real one. And there's nothing they don't do well. They're not the greatest defense in the world, but beyond that, there's nothing they don't do well offensively. And they added Julio fucking Jones. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, really.
I like Julio.
No, I'm with you, man. Let's go Tennessee. We'll lay it right there.
Lay the -3. Absolutely. You want to, all day. That one's a comfortable bet.
All right. We how about Seattle and Indy? Indy home dog. We talked about them a little bit earlier in the show. Look, I don't know. I'll give me the Colts plus the points, man. I'll take them outright.
Tough one. This one, again, that 3-point, it's such the right spread. I think Seattle is the better team, but the Colts do find a way to win at home. They have an excellent defense. And the problem with Seattle, and this is why I don't like ever laying points with Seattle will play close. They'll win, even if they're going to win, I don't think they're winning by 7. So, I'm with you on that. Seattle plays a close game, right? So couldn't you see, even if they win, they kick a field goal last second, 2 points, win by 1 or 2.
20, and it'll be a weird score too. It'll be like, like a non-football score, like a traditional football, be like 24-22. Or 20-21, 22-20, something like that.
Easily.
No, I agree. Like a non-football score, that's how Seattle. I agree. I think you're dead right.
They play close games. They're not a team that pours it on when they're winning. Pete Carroll does not do that. He's like, hey, if it's close, they're going to run it. Chris Carson, punt. And you're going to be like, dude, you have Russell Wilson on the team. What the fuck are you doing? Chris Carson, punt. And they're not score or field goal. So they're not a go for the jugular team. You never want to lay too many points with Seattle. I'm all about the Colts at home. Take the +3. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right. How about this one? The Washington football team laying a point to the Chargers. Now, everybody loves the Chargers. Everybody loves Herbert. I love Washington in this game. I think this is a public trap. I think people are going to go, oh, the Chargers, that's it. Catching a point. I think I think this is a sucker job because I think Washington wins this game, and I would actually lay that's an alternate line. That's where I'm hunting. And I'm hunting bigger odds, dude.
He does not want the 50-50 play.
No, man, I'm hunting. I'm a hunter, cuz
go for it. I love it. Love it.
Are you any sense on this game?
Yeah, no, I'm on the Washington side of this one as well. Here's I don't think people are going to pick this up. So last year we didn't have home field advantage anymore. There was no crowd, right? John Statsational Alessia, big sharp, the leader of the sharp sports betting team, our sharpest guy, right? He would talk about that all last year about how the lines would be a little bit off because the reason that home field advantage gives you 3 points is because the crowd pressures the referees, the umpire. The crowd pressures the refs into making calls favorable to the home team more often than not, and that crowd noise sometimes affects the opposing team, but it's much more ref based.
Yeah.
Well, now we have our crowds back, right there.
Isn't it great? Oh my God, it's like college football having fans.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
So home field advantage is back. It's a thing. So now you've got, I think, two pretty even teams, but Washington's defense is so fucking good. And now it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think the team offensively leveled up massively with going from garbage at quarterback, pure, utter. I'm talking like Dwayne Haskins level garbage at quarterback. Actually, Taylor Heineke was the only good thing they had, and he only played for like a game before he got hurt last season. And then it was Alex Smith. Beautiful story, comeback, the leg, but the guy could not throw the football at all. So they went from that to a gunslinger in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think that Washington levels up, and I think they win this game outright. I agree with you. I don't know if I'm hunting for, I just want to win. I'm like, hey, I won. I'll take my 50-50. But, yeah, I mean, if you get a +3 alt bet there or a -3 alternate bet, I think that's reasonable also. And I think Antonio Gibson comes out and smashes it. I got a couple of props for this game. Hold on.
Oh, good.
You ready for this?
Yeah,
Keenan Allen, over 5.5 receptions on DraftKings. Keenan Allen, yeah, he's going to catch more than 5.5 balls. What are you crazy?
Yeah. That's a good play. That's a great play. I like that a lot.
Another one I like on this game, I got prepared. Another prop I like in this game, Antonio Gibson over 57.5 yards. I think Antonio Gibson being set up to be a workhorse. 57.5 is a low number.
Yeah,
over on that.
That's another good play, dude. That's a strong.
Yeah,
that's another strong play.
Love
you know what? This might be a same game parlay with those plays.
I don't mind it, but if the book allows it, parlay with it to win.
Yeah, I like it. That. Oh man, I might be hunting.
There we
go. Hunting with you. I don't know what to think of the Bengals. I mean, Minnesota's laying 3. It seems too cheap to me. It's a stay away game for me.
I mean, I don't know if Joe Burrow is fully healthy. The guy tore his ACL, his MCL. He tore so many CLs. I don't even know, meniscus. He had all kinds of
CLs.
He got all the CLs torn. That was week 11. Like, it's not even been 12 months. So I got worried. I mean, I'm worried about, is Joe Burrow, is he healthy? I don't know. If he was healthy, I'd be excited about the offense a little bit for the Bengals. But, I think that Minnesota's going to come in and run the football down their throats.
All right.
It's going to be Dalvin.
Well, D-Cook action.
Dalvin Cook going bananas, just running it down their throats. Bengals can't stop the run. So this does not set up well for the Bengals here. I'd probably lay the 3.5 for the Vikings. Oh, you know what? Not the 3.5. You can get one of the nice things about shopping these bets is you can find -3. I would not lay -3.5, but like FanDuel has it at -3. If you go to like, let me see here. Looks like Sugar House has it -3.5. So you want to go to FanDuel.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. And one of these things, when you guys do this stuff, make sure you shop for the best number and make sure you're always buying points down. Never lay. There's no need to lay 3.5. Just use the extra juice. Lay 130 at -3 instead of -110 at 3.5. Never, always by the hook.
And one beautiful thing about the Sharp app itself, and our show is of course brought to you by Sharp here. One beautiful thing is that you just get right on it. It shows you the best book in your state for the bet that you're doing.
That's
so
genius,
like when I want this bet, man, I just go right to it, and it points it out. It's
that's Speakeasy, man. That's an incredible tool.
Back in the day, talk about Speakeasy. Back in the day, the real, what they called the wise guys, the sharp gamblers, what they would do is they would have a runner in Las Vegas, and they'd get on the newspaper or whatever the fuck, the fax machine or whatever the hell people used in the 80s and the 90s. I don't know, right? Like the ticker tape. They'd find out, all right, the Caesars book, MGM book has this price. So they'd have a runner running to get the best line at the best casino, right? At the best book. And it was all in Vegas. So you had these guys whose job it was just to run around, place the, hey, get over to Bally's, get over to this one, go place the bet. Now we can do it online. So, that's what that app, the Sharp app does.
Genius. Wow, it's fantastic.
Right, you don't need a runner in Vegas. You can get a runner in Vegas, but he does other things. He's running for other things. Who the fuck? You got to have a runner. You send him to the Baja Fresh to get you some tacos. Hey, get over to the Baja Fresh. Remember that from The Sopranos?
Yes. Everybody needs a runner. Come on. We all need runners.
Come on. What do you need? That was
that's awesome.
One of my favorites.
How about this one? Dude, Jags, Texans. Ew. I want to go against Houston, but I can't even do it.
Yeah, you can. It's Houston. They're terrible.
I know, but the Jaguars, yeah,
tough to trust them. I think Houston might be so epically bad. The Jaguars might blow them out like 23-0.
Yeah.
That the Texans just don't.
Score. I mean, I would never. Yeah, I wouldn't. I agree with you. Not with the runners' money in my bet in Houston.
Send the kid over there. But yeah, no,
down the street. Down the street.
I mean, yeah, this is you got to go with the Jags here. Obviously, they got a new quarterback. We don't know what he's going to do, but he looks pretty NFL ready. They got a great running back in James Robinson. I love that kid. So I think Jacksonville just rolls. As a matter of fact, I just don't think. I think the Texans are so bad that for your survivor pool this year, if you just made it your play to take the team playing against Houston every single week and you were able to roll it for a whole season, I'm not convinced that the Texans are going to win a game this year. I think that's I might do that in Survivor. I'm going to get in Survivor. I'm just going to.
No, it's smart.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I agree. No, dude, I'm completely with you. How about this one? Packers and Saints. So to me, the Green Bay's 3.5. Give me Rodgers all day long. I love Green Bay in this game. This is the great spite season for Rodgers. He's coming back. He's going to play out of spite. He's going to play great because he's Rodgers. And I don't like the Saints a little bit, so I love Green Bay in this one.
Love Green Bay as well here. Saints, I don't believe in them at all this season. No wide receivers at all on the team. Marquez Callaway, fine. Traquan Smith.
Right.
So they're not going to – I get that Jameis Winston is he's not a bad quarterback, but look for him to throw a pick six somewhere along the way in this game as well. Green Bay defense scores a touchdown, and the Packers roll to an easy week one win. I'm laying the 4 points, no problem.
Yep, I agree. This next one, I have a real strong opinion on the total. It's Kansas City against Cleveland. KC 5.5. 54.5 is the total. I don't care if it's 60. It's going over. And look, Honey Badger's out with COVID for Kansas City. Cleveland can't stop Mahomes, and that offense is still nasty. I love the over because I think Cleveland will score a little bit. I know Kansas City will score. So I'll ride the over. 54.5, I'll take it.
You got to run the over with Kansas City almost every week, right?
But even more in this game because I look at the way without Honey Badger, like he's a big deal. That Kansas City defense, they need him, and they usually start out a little slow. And I think that's by design, their defense. Spags is the defensive coordinator, and so I like the over a lot in that game.
I'm with you on it, and what I think could happen here. Cleveland likes to run the football, but because it's Kansas City and because they score fast, you got to abandon the run pretty quickly along the way. So that's the real dilemma here. Cleveland will slow a game down if they can.
Yeah.
They'll run it if they can. But once you're down 2 touchdowns, all of a sudden you can't be messing with that. You've got to
exactly.
I like the pass catchers for Cleveland in this game to have good output from a fantasy point of view. And another bet in this game I've got for you.
Kevin Stefanski's a good coach too, by the way.
Oh yeah, no question. Listen, Cleveland. They're competitive. They're going to compete for the AFC Championship. They're a dark horse in the AFC. Give props to Cleveland. I like Nick Chubb to score a touchdown plus 120.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call. I like that a lot.
I like that. I like that prop and get it on DraftKings. And overall, though, I like this game. I like this game to play out well. I think the Chiefs, of course, will win. They'll probably cover that spread. But look for a high-flying game. We've seen Cleveland turn it up when they've had to.
Denver Giants. Denver 3-point favorite. I got to tell you, I don't know how you feel. I know you don't like the Giants, but I like the Giants to win the game.
Don't love it. I don't love it.
I know you're an anti-gent man.
I just think they suck, and I can't get past how bad Danny Dimes is. Maybe he's going to turn it around, but I mean they sucked last year, and Danny Dimes showed nothing for a full season. Everybody says,
I might actually go Butler with you on this one again.
Oh no!
I actually like the Giants. I love the Giants in this game.
Really? Such a low-scoring, gross game. The best thing they have going.
It's a gross game, though. I agree with you.
The best thing they have going for them is that they're at home. They could dominate defensively and just have a bunch of field goals.
I mean, I'm not a big Teddy guy, so I look at them. And you're right from a fantasy standpoint. That's a gross stay away.
I hate it. I always care fantasy points most of the time. I'm like, ugh, nothing. I want nothing to do with this one. I heard one of the beat writers for the Giants talking about how he thought that their wide receiver core was one of the best in the league, and I was like, is this guy looking at the same team? Like, what kind of homer are you?
I mean, it's good, but you're right, dude. Seriously,
Kenny Galladay, he's all right. He's always hurt. And who else? Slayton. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, but I did hear the other, from a fantasy point of view, I did hear from the beats that the Giants are going to try to feature Kadarius Toney, the rookie, sort of electric wide receiver in this game. He didn't play much in the preseason, so from a fantasy point of view, that's interesting to me. If Kadarius Toney all of a sudden has some action, but again, 42-point total. Game doesn't excite me. I like the Broncos to take it. I think the Broncos have a good defense, and I think they can hang in there and just run the ball and kind of do their thing. And I think the Broncos might take this one. So if you want to put another one on the Butler board,
let's do it. We got two. So we got two. It's funny. Ironically, Jets and Giants. Incredible, right?
They were going to be like a regional show. Jets, Giants talk only. But that's all right. I'm down. I'm with you.
The Sunday Nighter is a great game. Well, I don't know if it's a great game. It's the Rams and Bears.
Not a great game.
No. And there's only one side you can go. I mean, talk about a hate. I hate Dalton. Dalton stinks.
He stinks.
7.5. I would lay up to 10. And I know it's crazy, but I think the Bears are gross.
I like the Bears as a team when they change over to Fields. But under a Dalton regime against the best defense in the league, the Rams.
Come on. All right. I think it's an ugly game.
Here's an interesting – they don't have this as a prop, but this doesn't exist as a prop, but it should. What are the chances that Dalton doesn't make it through the game as the starting quarterback for the Bears?
Dude, it's a genius move, dude.
I mean, bet that. Where can I bet that?
Yeah.
I bet that Dalton doesn't make it through this game. With that defense, he's going to
No, dude, I agree. I hear you. I was thinking the same thing. You know what you do on the how about this, dude? On the Sunday Nighter.
Fields at the captain?
Yes.
A DFS.
Who did that? It was the Raiders last year. Right? It was, who was it?
And by the way, I want to give credit to my fantasy football partner in crime on my podcast, Alan Sizlowski, who's been preaching this for months about Dalton not making it through week one. So I want to credit him for that because he's been saying it. And here it is. It's a showdown. The problem is even if they change to the other quarterback, he's still going up against the Rams. It's still a very good defense.
Right.
Yeah. And
well, you probably, what's the ownership? You probably get, it'll be, about 2%.
No, less, 1%. Yeah. It's once in the history of daily fantasy football has that move paid off, but it paid off to the tune of $1 million to some guy who played Marcus Mariota randomly on a Raiders game.
Yeah, the Monday night game. Yeah,
that Monday night game, and of course Derek Carr came out like the first couple snaps too. It wasn't like the third quarter he came out early, and Marcus Mariota came in and he crushed. It was a very it was $1 million set of circumstances.
Yeah, no,
$1 million.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I remember listening to your podcast after that game, talking about that. It was actually genius move by the guy. Genius.
He's been doing it for years, waiting and just doing it every game. He's like, I always play it. And I'm like, dude, it's never worked for 3 years. You've been doing that for 3 years? Yep, I always do it. Okay.
Finally, you figure, right? Like, and look, he's up, 999,000, right?
He's laughing all the way to the bank. Like,
yeah.
I wait a few years, but eventually it's going to hit. Okay. I like the Rams at all costs in that game. I don't even care what the hell.
Yeah, we agree, brother. That's a route piece. That's what. That's a cigar. That's a cigar piece.
Yeah.
Light that baby up.
Absolutely.
And then finally, the Monday night game: Raiders and Ravens. The Ravens are a 4-point favorite in Vegas. That's a tough game. I mean, I kind of lean Baltimore. I think, I still think they're good and they're well coached, and I'm a hardball man. So I would lay with Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree. Baltimore defensively is going to be too much for this Raiders team. I like laying the points here. I like Lamar Jackson too. I'm a little concerned about the wide receiver group having not played much. A lot of injuries going on there, but Sammy Watkins, I believe, is there now, and they have some veteran stability going on there. Mark Andrews is there, so I think they'll have enough. And I don't care about losing J.K. Dobbins, to be honest with you. I think Gus Edwards is the same guy, so I don't think they lose anything with that injury. And yeah, I like the Ravens here to keep doing what they're doing. And I hope that we'll see Lamar Jackson take a little step forward in his sort of throwing this year, and his accuracy and his sort of touch as a quarterback. I think he could, because he's got another year, and he's a kid that works hard, and I think he's getting better. So I like that play too. No Butler bet on this one, my man. No.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to this. Every week, the Geek and I hang in the Speakeasy. We want you guys to hang in the Speakeasy. Don't forget the Sharp app. It's going to give you a big angle. All the stuff that we talk about. Check out the Sharp app. This is going to be big for you guys. It's a great, great tool.
Compare odds. It's like having a runner in Vegas running for you. Like, hey, what's the best line? Even if you send the Sharp app, it can go out to the Baja Fresh, pick you up some tacos.
Perfect. I got the tequila, my man.
All right.
You bring the virgins.
Do it, man. Good stuff, Anthony. This was awesome. Looking forward as well to seeing you every week here. Speakeasy, hanging out. Next week we get the tequila with the virgin legs. Swirling it.
Remember, swirl it around, and you see the streaks on the glass, and that, according to Oscar Serrano, is called the legs of the virgin.
There we go. All right, that'll do it.
All right, brother.
Speakeasy, NFL Week 1. We'll see you next time, everybody. Take care.